My name is Dr. Sonia Gracci, and I'm a professor at the Ted Rogers School of Hospitality and Tourism Management at Ryerson University. Sustainable tourism would be the equivalent of, say, organic food, that it incorporates all these three pillars of economy, environment, and social practices. If you wanted to call it an organic vacation, you would look for means of transportation and accommodation. You would look for activities. You would choose restaurants that focused on having a low environmental impact. Usually you have to travel to your vacation. So right there, you cannot really have a very low impact vacation. The mass tourism, for example, is immensely wasteful because you're looking at resorts that are based in underdeveloped countries that are importing tons of food that is not going to the local community. The amount of money that is made is not staying within the local community. So the people who are working at the resort are making minimal in terms of their wages. You're actually more detrimental because there's sewage, because of your actual waste that's happening. Our sustainability should really be focused or be driven into the mass tourism sector in order to make great change. Ecotourism is a niche market. This is true with the case of organic, is that a lot of it isn't as affordable as conventional. It is usually a big investment, but you have to look at the longer return. So, for example, if a hotel is going to invest, $500,000 in terms of energy efficiency, they're probably going to get a rate of return that's in 5 years. But then after those 5 years, then they're reaping their rewards. The problem is with businesses is they never see past a 1 or 2 year rate of return. It doesn't not have to be passed down to the consumer. There's lots of big hotels that do their part and do their part really, really well. Taking away from labels is really important because people need to go out and figure out what they're looking for without looking necessarily for a certified label. Certification in tourism is also very expensive. So a small-scale hotel, Eco Lodge, for example, may not be certified because they simply cannot afford it, but they might be doing all the things that they have to do. You choose where you want to stay, and the thing is where do you get that information? And that's where your tour operators really play a role in letting consumers know this is a green hotel.
My name is Rita, and I'm the team leader at the Flight Center Oakville. Do organics have a play in travel? In this day and age, yes, indeed. It's not far-fetched to have our clients, we're making specific requests for whether it's dietary needs, or you'll find that there's a lot of chains nowadays that are really focusing on things like serving non-GMO foods. It's kind of hard to put a breakdown on eco versus regular standard all-inclusive resort. Many of the big chains, for example, there's standard operating procedures now where they need to incorporate that, and it's a lot easier for a big organization to have that streamlined. Costa Rica is definitely one of our top destinations. There's going to be a lot of properties where they are amongst the national parks. It's just a very specific destination where for anyone that is enthusiast in terms of eco-friendly, it's one of the top. We're fortunate enough in Canada to be able to be dealing with a lot of restrictions involved where our airlines and our wholesalers will do everything that they can to mandate certain expectations to reduce, for example, fuel. That's going to be a big one. Waste or recycling waste on the airline itself. These are all provisions that for sure are being taken care of.